One mini world, one creation dream.
Okay, something that I forgot to teach you in the previous test is that you can play homes. Of course, you cannot play the home anywhere. You need to have a grass terrain, air, or that's important, and or because you can do both. You can have sidewalk next to the road, and then you will be able to place your home there. As you see here, probably I see a car that is already moving around our city. All right, and also we have like different buildings that we can have for this one. Okay, so as an example, we have a farm. Once more, with the terrain, we need to place the farm only in farmable blocks like this, and also those farms need to be next to a road. Okay, so as an example, this farm is going to give me some food so I can maintain my city. Also, I have a fishing farm that I can place only next to the water. Alright, that is gonna give me less food, but I will need less requirements. Remember, we have a lot of different tools. We have parks, we have clubs. Every building is gonna have like different requirements. And also I have the advanced menu, which I can place some offices here. Or, as an example, I can place a police station, and the limit is your imagination, okay? So you can create a city in the space, in the sea, and whatever you want, but you will be able to place like different buildings. And also, we gonna learn how to be able to upgrade the buildings. As an example, transform the houses into buildings and add more floors to our buildings to have more population and to have more people. And well, you can play a lot with this, okay? The one you can see right here next to my avatar. Around this area you have my UID in case you want to check them up. Also, you have it on the description, okay? We're gonna start with the simple things, and is that we're gonna create the base for our tools, okay? So all the tools we are using for editing our terrain are right here, okay? These are gonna be normal items, and those normal items will change depending of the menu that you have in the main UI, and those will allow you to modify the terrain, okay? The important thing is that I'm gonna show you the base. You can copy the way I'm doing, or you can create your own style, okay? So as an example, I have some tools here. I have the irrigate tool that transforms sand into soil, soil into farmland, and farmland into grass. That is for take the normal terrain and of course change it and make it a different one. I have the tool that do the same thing, but it's gonna do it backwards. That means that instead of like transforming everything in a green terrain, it's gonna dry the terrain, okay? So the grass is gonna transform into farmland. If you click over farmland, it's gonna transform in soil, and if you click on soil, you're gonna transform in sand, okay? With that, you will be able to modify the terrain. But very important, guys, check that our tool needs 25 of money to be able to work, okay? And that is a part important on the game. To make all the tools require money, so players will need to plan better how to modify the terrain, okay? And they need to produce money to be able to modify the terrain, okay? Those are like my tools. Remember, you can do a tool for every one of them. I'm just doing it to simplify the menu here. Next, we have like more advanced looks for a terrain, okay? We have the sidewalk, and the sidewalk is gonna work for place buildings here, okay? As you see, also has a price, 25 bucks to be able to do it. And what it's gonna do is gonna transform any block into sidewalk, or it's gonna, if you click again over sidewalk, it's gonna transform every sidewalk block into soil, okay? But very important, we have a description here. It says we need to connect to our road to be able to do it, okay? Then I have a specific block that is very important, that is the road. Remember, in our game, you can only build the structures if those structures are next to a road, okay? That is where the cars are gonna be moving, so it needs to be connected, okay? And for that, is the same function as the sidewalk, okay? You have to transform any block into a road by $50, or transform any road into soil. Important, also in the description it says you need to connect to a road. And finally, we have a tool to remove blocks. This is gonna be called dig. And what it's gonna do dig is to destroy the current block. It needs to be a terrain block, and it's gonna transform that block into 2 sand blocks. Okay, so why 2? In case player destroys the terrain, he will be able to expand the island. Okay, so he removes 1 block, but he will be able to recover that block and place another one. But very important, it's gonna be expensive because it's 75 of money, and also it's gonna place the sand block, which you need to upgrade a lot to be able to build over it. Okay, now those are the terrain tools. I'm gonna show you how to do the base, and the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click on here on the plugin editor, and you have all these options, right? You're gonna scroll down, guys, and you're gonna go to items. Okay, remember, before starting, very important, if you don't want to create all these tools manually, remember, if you want to skip that part, that in the resource center right here you go and put my UID, which is 2769323. You click on save or look for. It's gonna take a while. You're gonna see my ID, and on there you just scroll down and you're gonna see this. And this is the plugin pack that already has all these tools, so you can save some time making it. Okay, but in case you can create it manually, or you want to create it manually, just do the next thing. You're gonna click on add. Okay, you're gonna create new, and you're gonna hit on create. On there you're gonna hit again in this plus symbol, and the item base is gonna be a mixed item. Okay, remember, mixed item is just an item. It doesn't do anything more than being an item. That means that we can use that. Okay, and in the name you're gonna place the name of your tool and all the information. Okay, so remember, you're gonna keep on this, you're gonna work on this, but I'm gonna show you the configuration, the setup for a one that I already have. Okay, so we're gonna start with irrigate. Okay, so really important, guys, remember on here you're gonna put first the name of the tool, and then if you want to make it see like the money, it's important to tell the players what is gonna be the value of this. So remember, I put the name of the tool, which in my case is gonna be irrigate. Then I put hashtag or a pound in the letter G, which means green. That means that after this color is gonna be green. The dollar symbol and the price. Okay, and there I put the description. Okay, always put the description of what your tool is gonna do. In my case, it's gonna transform sand into soil, soil into farmland, and farmland into grass. Okay, if you have access, I know not all of you have this tool, but in case you can do this tool, click on here, and on there you have the option to translate. Remember to click on translate all and do a double check. Of course, I know that you don't know all the languages, but do a double check and see if the different translations are okay. Alright, now you can choose a model here. I already choose this one, but you have a lot of tools for those that are old students. Now we have a lot more icons to choose from. Or remember, you can use Advanced Edition. If you want to see how it works, remember to check the previous minicamp. On there I teach you how to change the icons for the item for those that are not here. Okay, you can see it right there. Okay, for now, what is important is you're gonna place this as default, and you're not gonna set any skill. Okay, and you're gonna save and return. Remember, you need to reaccess your map to be able to see that plugin. Okay, so that is the base for any plugin you're gonna make. Remember, you can make a lot of them with the same function. Remember, I have here a lot of tools, the tools I showed you previously. Just remember to place the right information. Okay, so at the end you're gonna see the price here, the name, and also you're gonna see the icon. Okay, that's the important thing, and the description in game. So once you have the item for the tool you want to make, there is different ways that you can do the tool. Okay, I'm going to show you the first example. You're gonna go to triggers, and I have this like group or in different folders, but you're gonna put all your tools in a different folders, okay? One's for the normal terrain tools, and the one's for the building, so you're gonna avoid confusions. In my case, I put it in other ways, so it's gonna be easier for me to teach you. But remember, you're gonna place it on the right way, okay? Okay, no questions up to the moment, so let's continue. We're gonna create our first tool, and it's gonna be irrigate, okay? Remember guys, I'm gonna show you the base about how to do this specific tool, but remember you can create as many tools as you want. In my case, it's only gonna be one tool that is gonna do all the work for upgrading or downgrading the blocks, but you can create however you want, okay? So the name of this one is irrigate, is the one who is gonna allow us to upgrade the block, okay? And I'm gonna show you the base. Remember, once more, you can create as much as tools as this one as you want. So what is gonna do this tool is to change one block into other by taking some money, okay? That is the basic tool, okay? So how it works, you're gonna create a new action. All right, for the action, you're gonna select here player, and there is an option that says player taps on block, okay? We're gonna select that one. All right, what it's gonna do is gonna detect when the player makes click on a block. Now we're gonna add our first condition, okay? So our first condition is to check that the item that the player has in the hand is the item that is gonna start our trigger, okay? So how do you do that? You're gonna go here, you're gonna go to player, if I'm not wrong, and on here there is one item, I guess. Oh no, this one I think is in items. No. Okay, yeah, it's item type with judgment. What happened is that they changed the name of the different triggers, so I'm a little bit loose, but I think it's this one, item type judgment. Okay, you're gonna select that one, and oh no, this is really hard. It's gonna be really hard because they changed the name of the triggers, but let me try to guess here. Oh, sorry, it's this one. Okay, so you're gonna go to players and determine handed item type. You're gonna click on that one, and you're gonna have the next options. In the first option, we need to select what item is gonna have the player in the hand. In the second, we need to check the condition, and in the third, we're gonna select the item. Okay, so you're gonna expand the first one, and on here, you're gonna select player and trigger event. That is the player who's gonna perform the action. You're gonna put the yes on here. Remember, yes is meaning yes, this is the item. And then on this, you're gonna select the item you just created for that tool, okay? Probably it's gonna be in custom, and you just need to find the item that we create, okay? In this case, my tool is gonna be called irrigate, so you're gonna select that one, okay? Now, you're gonna close, and we're gonna add a second condition. Our favorite condition, the one that we use the most, is gonna be math, okay? And you're gonna place numerical comparison. Alright, and on here, we're gonna need to be sure that the player has enough money. How we do that? We're gonna go to the first one, we're gonna select the variables, and remember, we create a variable called money, okay? And what we do is we place not greater than, because in that case, if the player has the same money, it's not be able to work, it's not gonna be working, so we're gonna select greater or equal. That means if it has $25 or more, he will be able to buy this, okay? So remember, first condition is the item, second condition is the amount of money, and now the most important thing, we're gonna select what kind of terrain this specific trigger is gonna work, okay? So only if the player is clicking on a yellow sand, it is gonna execute this specific trigger, okay? So how do you do that? You're gonna go another condition, you're gonna select block, and you're gonna select determine block type, okay? Once we select determine block type, we're gonna select block in event, yes, and on here we're gonna choose what kind of block it is gonna work on, okay? So in my case, this trigger only works if we have yellow sand here, okay? And that's it. Our trigger has now the right conditions. Now, what will be next, guys? Now in the actions, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the money for the player, okay? So how do we reduce the money from the player? You're gonna go here and you're gonna select assign, okay? On there, you're gonna select assign value. Remember, these allow you, all the assigns allow you to change variables. And our money is a variable in game, so you're gonna select set value. And on the first one, you're gonna place the variable. Remember, we're gonna reduce the money, so we're gonna select money and we're gonna set up as math numerical operation, okay? This is the one we gonna see. We're gonna expand, and on the first one we're gonna go ahead and tell the game which variable we're gonna use for the calculation. So we're gonna take the amount of money that the player currently have, so we're gonna select money, and we want to reduce to take some money, okay? So in the options, if you want to add more money, you of course place that. If you want to take some money, you're gonna select reduce, and we're gonna select the amount of money, which is how many is gonna cost to the player. This is gonna be $25, and that's it. Remember, on here we put $25. On here we also put $25. In the item also have the description, so everything is gonna be clear for the player. What is gonna be next is that we already take the money, but we want to give some feedback to the player. So to give the feedback to the player, we're gonna make a sound, okay? A sound, an effect, like a real visual effect, and then we're gonna have a text, okay? So the first one is gonna be the sound. You're gonna go to sound effect and play sound effects on player, okay? This one is the one you're gonna select. Now, the sound we're gonna have is player and trigger event. Then you're gonna select the sound you want to make for the player, okay? So in my case, I'm gonna stop the music a second so you will be able to listen how the sound is gonna sound. Oh, I just dropped down my mouse. Give me a second, guys. I wish it's still working. Put all the things together back. No, guys, I just break my mouse. But it's still working, okay? Alright, so you're gonna click on here, and this is the sound I select. Okay, so the sound I select here is music 65. Remember, clicking here, you will be able to like test or choose different sounds. If you want to use the same one I have, you can place here. Remember, this is the sound you want to for your specific item, and most of the times, this, if when you select by default, is gonna sound like this. Okay, what I did to make a different sound is just change this where it says the tone is. If you change to any number, it's gonna change. Of course, as an example, if I put 0.5, it's gonna have a different sound. But I wanted to make it more like sound more metallic, so that's why I put a 5 on here. And now sounds more cartoonish and more metallic, okay? Remember, this is up to you. You can select whatever you want. Then we're gonna create an effect. So the player is gonna have some visual feedback, okay? So how do you create the effect? Well, you're gonna go here. You're gonna select special effect, and you're gonna select special effect on location, okay? Once you select that one, you're gonna select the kind of effect you want. The one I choose here is with particle 1, because this tool is gonna make an effect like it's, you know, putting some water on the terrain, okay? But you can choose whatever. As an example, I choose this one. And very important, guys, as the block we are selecting is at the floor level, you need to change the location, okay? Because if you do, right, like put in the event location, you're not gonna see it because it's gonna be cast, or the effect is gonna be produced under the ground, okay? So what you have to do is you have to change the location. You need to put the effect where you are clicking, but one block top. And how do you do that? You're gonna choose here, you're gonna select function library, and we have this one that says location offset, original location fixed, okay? Don't select this one, and on there, what you're gonna do is to expand, and you're gonna select event position and put the same numbers I have here on the middle, till so on, okay? And then the size of the effects, you can choose 1. Now we have the effect, the sound, and we take the money. What we're gonna do is to create a small floating number that is gonna tell the player how many money he spends. And for this, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go to player, and then you're gonna select on here an option that says show a text to the player, okay? It's gonna be around here. Of course, as they change the names, sometimes it's really hard to, well, you get used to it, okay? But there is the one that says displays text in floating window for to a player, okay? So you're gonna select that one. And now you're gonna have this option. What you're gonna do is to select player and trigger event, and in here you're gonna write what is gonna have, okay? The price you pay for that. Once more, we spent $25, so I put, remember this tag is for the color, so I do hashtag or pound, then the uppercase D, that means green. Remember, D for green, B for blue, R for red, and Y for yellow, okay? And then the price that he's paying, okay? This is gonna be important, is to tell the player how many money he expends. And after we do all of that, you're gonna do and place the action we're gonna execute, okay? So this was just taking the money and showing the information. Now we're gonna do what actually the tool is gonna do, which is gonna replace the block. How do you do that? You're gonna go to block, and you're gonna select substitute block, okay? If you were using the previous version, probably here it says replace block. You're gonna use substitute block, okay? And you're gonna click on it. What you're gonna see here is that we can replace the block in the vent position for a different block, okay? So you're gonna select the vent position, and on here you're gonna choose what block we're gonna change our block to. In my case, I transforming the sand into the soil block, okay? On here we have a lot of different blocks, but what I'm gonna do is transform it into soil, so I'm gonna select that one. And on here you're gonna choose the location. For this kind of block, it doesn't matter, so I place here east, and that's it, okay? Remember always to test, so you're gonna put that item in your hands, and you're gonna switch to play mode, and you're gonna wait until your map is generated, of course. And after our map is completed, generated, it's gonna take a while. Nice, we have our map working. You're gonna test, okay? So remember the tool we made is to transform sand into dirt. So if you click, you're gonna see the sound, you're gonna see the effect, and you're gonna see the floating text. You're gonna see it's taking some money, and probably you're not gonna see the money too yet, and you're gonna see that it's changing, okay? Errors that you can have. If it's not doing anything, remember you can check here that you have money, because otherwise it's not gonna work. So remember to go to variables, to go to values, and to go to money, and before starting the map put 500 or put enough money for testing it. Then you're gonna change this for the amount of money that the player is gonna have at the beginning, but be sure you have enough money to be able to test this, okay? And that's how it works, okay? Now you may wondering, how do I do for having like different grades, okay? So I can use the same tool for doing different things. As an example, transform it not only sand into dirt, but also dirt into farmland and farmland into grass, okay? Well, that is really simple. Actually, what you have to do is you have to copy and paste this trigger, okay? Remember, if this is a trigger, switch a terrain into other, okay? You're just gonna copy and paste, and you're gonna create different versions of the item, okay? So here I have the same item, but with a different duplicate, okay? So you're gonna rename it as irrigate 2 in this case. You keep all the information as it is, but you're gonna change the next one. First, only change for the second trigger the condition that says sand. On here, you're gonna use a different block, okay? As an example, this time we're gonna take the soil. Then we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna put or change the block in the action for the block we're gonna change, okay? So in this case, I selected for the soil to transform into farmland, okay? Which is this one. All right, so what you see here is that you can have multiple versions of the item, and you can have a lot of items here. Okay, so you see here the number 2 is for the soil, and the number 3 transform farmland into grass block. Okay, and you can do the same for different tools. As an example, using the same logic, just copy and paste and changing the information, I create another item that is the plow that do the inverse thing. It's gonna transform grass into soil, soil into sand, and it's just gonna be the same process. Okay, so you just copy paste, you change the name. But if you're gonna do a different item, of course you change here the item which you're gonna use, and you're gonna need to modify the information. If your item is more expensive or less expensive, you can change the money here and here, and the information here. Of course, you can change effect, and also you only change the result block here and the condition block here. Okay, now I guess it's clear this part. That is the first item I'm gonna show you how to do. We're gonna go to the next one. Okay, and the next tool we're gonna learn how to do is dig. Okay, so what is dig and how it works? Well, dig is a tool that allows you to break some blocks, because remember, in this map you won't be able to break blocks with the hand. So with dig you can break some blocks, and you will be able to win 2 blocks every time you break 1 block. Okay, but this has some conditions. If you break a block, you will have to spend 75 of money, which actually is kind of expensive in game, because a house is gonna be only 25, so you can get 3 different houses every time that you break a block. Okay, and what you're gonna do with this is that you will be able to have 2 blocks. That means if you break 10 blocks, you're gonna have 20 blocks saved in your inventory, and with that you will be able to actually place the double of blocks. That means that you can start expanding your island, your city, and that will allow you to grow up a little bit slower, but you will be able to grow up and change your island. Okay, all right, so how we gonna start, or how we gonna create this? We're gonna go to our plugin editor, we're gonna go to items, and you're gonna do the same process that we learned already of creating a new item, but this time you're gonna put the next description. You're gonna put the name of the tool and the price, but in the description you're gonna put the strike current block and get some blocks. Okay, once more, the attribute and the skills are completely by default. You're gonna save the information and you're gonna re-enter the map. Okay, so you're gonna click on here. Remember, every time you're adding a new block, you're gonna have to re-access the map. Is that how it works? All right, so what we're gonna do here is, now we have the item that you already create the item, you're gonna create a new trigger. Okay, the name of the trigger is dig. Remember, you can use any trigger for doing this, and remember, what is gonna do the trigger is save some blocks for your inventory. Remember, here our inventory is gonna be changing depending of the different tools we are selecting. So we're gonna save those tools for using later, and then you're gonna remove the block. Okay, so what you're gonna do is delete the one I created. Instead of that, just copy and paste the one that we created at the first, that is irrigate. You're gonna copy and paste, and you're gonna rename it as dig. Okay, the conditions, the actions are gonna be the same, and the 2 first conditions are gonna be the same. But of course, you're gonna change the information. Remember, we already learned this. You're gonna change the item for the item that you created, the amount of money, or for the amount of money that the player is gonna expend. And on here we have this option that says block type in the event is equals yes to yellow sand. Okay, but we're gonna do different here is that we are not gonna place here the items we want to use the tool for. We're gonna place the items that you don't want to work this tool with. Okay, so in my case I have 3 different blocks where you cannot use this tool. Okay, the first one is gonna be the road, so the players won't be able to delete the road with this one. The second one is Flama's Ult Restore, and actually I don't need this, but just in case I put it. And the third one is that the players won't be able to delete your trees, okay? So you most of the times have something like this. When you copy, you're gonna change for no, okay? You're gonna change for no, and then you place the block you don't want the player be able to destroy it, okay? In this case, I have my road here, okay? If you have the plugin I submit, you're gonna find the road block around here. It's gonna be around this area. Is gonna be this one, okay? Road. And remember, if you're using the fluorescent block, you can choose the fluorescent block here, okay? Then, oh, a second. Gilbert Jr. is saying hello. So welcome to the streaming, Gilbert. Now, these are the conditions. Now go for the actions, okay? As you see, the first actions are gonna be just the same. So in here, we're gonna expand and we're gonna change the money for the amount of money that our tool is gonna take from our money, is gonna cost. So you're gonna put the price there. On here, of course, you can change the effect for a different effect. In my case, I'm using this. Okay. Once more, also you have you can choose here an effects. For this one, I'm gonna use a different one than the one I use for the irrigate. So I'm gonna use this one, that is explosion. And once more on here, you're gonna put the text of how many money is gonna take from our player. So we're gonna take $75, okay? And now, as you see, everything is like here, set for the last option, okay? So on this one, you're gonna delete that last option, the option you have here, and instead, you're gonna put the next actions, okay? The actions you're gonna put is block, destroy block, okay? You're gonna destroy the block in the location, so you're gonna select that one. All right, and you're gonna delete the block in the vent position, okay? Is this one. All right, now we are not going to get the block with this that the player has, okay? So how we do that? Remember that for being able to not to have the blocks in the hands, you will need to edit the normal terrain, okay? So you will need to edit the different blocks for the terrain, and on attribute, you can keep it like this, okay? So what you're gonna do is just destroy the block in the vent, and then we're gonna have a specific variable which is gonna handle the blocks that we're gonna have in our inventory. Why? Let me explain with a quick example here. We wait until our terrain or our random islands is gonna be generated. It's gonna take some seconds. Well, here we have a good terrain this time. Seems that it's gonna be a normal city, okay? Perfect. So remember that as an example, I'm gonna destroy this block, but if I have in a different inventory here, every time I click on here, it's gonna clean all the items in the inventory and it's gonna put new items, right? So we need to save a variable to know how many blocks we have saved. Otherwise, probably when we change the tool, this is gonna be deleted and we are not gonna have the same blocks, okay? So it's important, okay? So how do you do that? For this, we're gonna use a variable, okay? So you're gonna click on here, you're gonna click on that, and the action is gonna be assigned, okay? As always, we're gonna set a value, and we're gonna have something like this. In the first one, you're gonna click on here, and you're gonna create a new variable. The name of the variable is gonna be called blocks, and as always, we gonna use one of the most used actions, and it's gonna be math and numerical operation, all right? And when we are on numerical operation, we're gonna expand, we're gonna select the variable, we're gonna add more, and here we're gonna select blocks again, and we're gonna put add, and we're gonna put the amount of blocks we're gonna add, okay? So remember, I always place, like, if you break one block, you're gonna get 2 blocks. Why? Because with that you will be able to expand your island, okay? Just in case. And with that we're gonna have like the different options, or like the different blocks saved in our inventory. So now we're gonna remove all the blocks that the player has in the hand, and for this we're gonna just simply place player, we're gonna change here, and we're gonna select remove, okay, blocks. So on here, remember this changes the name. So we have discard items and destroy items, okay? So we're gonna select destroy items in the backpack, okay? And we're gonna don't put discard because that is gonna drop the items. You need to put destroy, okay? And you're gonna put players on trigger event. You're gonna place this number, so we means that we always gonna remove all the items the player has in the inventory. And in template library, we're gonna select the item we're gonna remove. In this case, I use in natural blocks the sand block, okay? So remember, we're gonna get sand blocks. So we're gonna remove. Why? Because we're gonna just clean up all the blocks that the player has in the hands, and we're gonna sync this with the variable. So delete first all the blocks. With this, you are deleting all the blocks that the player has, and then you're gonna add again the blocks, but in a different way. So we're gonna go to player, we're gonna add item to the player backpack, and you're gonna select, we're gonna add the amount of blocks that we have stored in our variable named blocks of yellow sand. Remember, this is the item I'm using by default to the blocks you saved to the player backpack, okay? So every time that the player is gonna just draw a block, is gonna have those blocks saved on his inventory, okay? Now, remember, you can test this tool once more. If you have the tool correct, if you follow the process correct, you will have the next function. And is that your city is gonna be created. When you have this tool on the hand, you will be able to, a second while it's loading. All right, so you will be able to break all the blocks except the blocks you put in the trigger that you don't want to block, destroy. But you will be able to break all the blocks, and you're gonna have those blocks saved here, okay? And that's it, okay? Right now, probably you have a problem, and is that of course you're not gonna recover the blocks because we haven't created this option yet, so don't worry. But for now, you will be able to save the blocks in your hand, okay? As you see here, we have 20 blocks, okay? That means that we will be able to expand our island as we want. As you see, we're gonna be able to fill the terrain we cover, and we're gonna be able to actually expand the terrain a little bit. Of course, if you want the terrain to be a little bit again who it was, it is gonna be expensive because you're gonna need more money to become the terrain again usable. But you will be able also to expand the terrain a little by little, okay? Now guys, let me read you in the chat. As you see, this option is really easy to do once we do the first one. And let me read you in the chat really quick here. And okay, so Max Gaming says, I'm gonna explain to you, Gilbert. I think you are put so bad. Huh? What is it? Okay. Alright, so Hang Ha Dang says, hello, Xin Chao, welcome to the streaming. I know you speak Vietnamese, and also I see that you also speak Chinese, so if you are able to understand me, welcome to the streaming. Alright, so guys, do you like how to create these terrain tools? Well, we got to the most easy part. Now we left another couple of tools, okay? So now we have the tool which allow you to replace a block. We have the tool that allow you to destroy the block. And now we're gonna do a different tool, okay? And this, you can use this tool for all the different terrains or items or tools you want to change the terrain, but you want to be sure that the terrain you're gonna change is connected to a specific terrain, okay? So how is it gonna work? Let me wait until the terrain is generated. So the previous two examples, those tools allow you to switch blocks, right? And this one allows you to destroy blocks. These two, instead, you will need to change the block, but only is gonna change the block if this block is connected to a specific block. Let me show you the example right here. So this tool, which is pavement, will change any block into sidewalk, as you've seen in the description, and it's gonna change any element, any sidewalk into soils in case you want to delete that part. But in orange we have a requirement, and it says we need to have this tool connected to a road to be able to use it. So what does it mean? If I use this tool around this area, I won't be able to do anything, right? But if this terrain that we're gonna use is connected to a road, I mean the tool is gonna work, okay? So as an example, you can see here, we can place the sidewalk next to a road, okay? But if I want to do it connected to a sidewalk, I won't be able to because it's not connected to a road. As an example, if I place a road here, now this terrain become available for me and I can just make more of these blocks, okay? And the road is gonna have a similar function. As you see, you turn any block into a road and you can turn back any road into a soil, but it needs to be connected to a road also. Why? Well, because you have to be connected to a road to use the road. That means that once more, if I do something like this is not gonna work. Only if I have something like this that is connected to the road, I will be able to transform that item or that corner into a road. But of course, it needs to be also at the same height. So if I have something like this, I won't be able to transform because, again, I need to remove the mountain to be able to place the road right there, okay? So how we gonna do that specific tool, okay, for edit your terrain? Once more, you're gonna do the same. You're gonna create an item and you're gonna do a misc item. This time we're gonna do the sidewalk as an example. Remember, the road is the same, but you're gonna change just the information on the item. So place the name, place the money, place the description, and it's very important to tell the game that if you use the same tool, you're gonna transform any item in a sidewalk or transform any sidewalk into a soil, and set, it's very important to set to which item is connected to, okay? Everything else is gonna be the same. Remember, you're gonna save and return, and you need to enter the game again to be able to see this tool working, okay? Now, what you're gonna do is we're gonna start with the triggers, okay? As you see, most of the triggers are gonna be the same. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy and then we're gonna paste on the same folder the tool that we call irrigate. We're gonna remain, in my case it's called cement, but in real in the game it's gonna be called sidewalk add, okay? So you will be able to know what it's going to do. And on here, we're gonna have almost the same information here, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the same. On the first one, once more, we keep the same conditions, but we're gonna check here, and we're gonna select which item we're gonna have in the hand, once more, to be able to use this one. Remember, use the item that we just created for this tool. On here, once more, you're gonna select the amount of money that you need to do or have to use this tool. So I choose 25 here, and it's important, our first change is this one, okay? So we used to have something like this. We're gonna keep the same condition, but we're gonna change the order, okay? So in the first one, you're gonna select what kind of item we're gonna have in the area or connected to, okay? So for this, remember, we're gonna connect to a road, okay? If there is no road around, you won't be able to use this block, okay? So select your block, name it as road. You're gonna continue, and we're gonna put yes. And then here is where it comes, or where it's gonna work the actual condition. Okay, remember this condition is to check if an item is connected to something specifically. So we're gonna select function library, and we gonna select expand area. Okay, oh no, sorry, function library, we're gonna select convert location to area. Okay, we're gonna select this one, and we're gonna expand, and we're gonna have something like this. So my recommendation is first complete this. On the first one, you're gonna select 1. On the second, you're gonna select 1.3. And in the last one, we're gonna select 1. So what we are telling the game is transform where the player is clicking, you're gonna transform that in an area, okay? And, oh, okay. Sorry, this is important. You're gonna delete this option, it's not the same one. I almost forgot that. So when you copy and paste, you're gonna delete that event. And what you're gonna do, because you're gonna have something like this, okay? You're gonna have something like this, and of course you're not gonna have this one, so you're gonna delete that one, the one that says block type. And what you're gonna add is an action. The action is block, and determine block in an area, okay? Determine block in area. That is important, okay? And once more, you're gonna add the same options that we see before. But then here you're gonna select convert area into location, like we're doing, like road, yes, the previous step I did, okay? On here we're gonna expand and transform where the player is clicking. We're gonna set is less than a block of distance, but I mean in altitude, but around the block is gonna be 1 and a 1, okay? Just use the same ones I have here. And in the middle, we're gonna select function library, and we're gonna select location offset, okay? And when you expand, you're gonna select FM position, and you're gonna use the same numbers I have here, okay? So it's very important to use the same numbers. What we're gonna tell the game is to put this into the center of the block where we make the click, and then we're gonna click on here and set expand this to this area, okay? So this is the action we use to check if this block is connected to a block, name it road. In case you want to do it with more than one block, as an example, you want this to be connected to a road, but also to water, because I don't know, you were doing a port or something, you can duplicate and change this first option, okay? Now, from here, all the options are the same as most. So in here, as always, you can choose the amount of money the player is gonna use to do or make this action work. You're gonna change the sound. You're gonna change here like the effect that you're using for this, and of course you're gonna place again the amount of money on this for the text that the player is gonna see. But in this one, you're gonna place the same option you have here, but of course you're gonna update with the item you wanna place. In this case, the block I wanna place on that location is being called sidewalk, okay? And that's it. We have the second item, or the second set of items that allow you to switch the terrain. Now, as just as the previous example, this is for adding. Now for removing, just copy and paste once more the same item, okay, copy and paste, and create a second option, okay, of the item, and that is gonna be called sidewalk remove. The first one was add, the second is remove, and do the same thing. You're gonna just change on here, but remember in the previous one we got any block. Well, the only thing that you need to do to be sure that the player will be able to delete this block is add the condition that we placed in the previous block. And remember, we learned how to do this. Determine that the block in the event is sidewalk. And of course, scroll down and change the block in event position for solve. And with that, you have the item with the two functions. Now your block will be able to do two things. First, it's gonna be able to add a sidewalk. Second, is gonna be able to remove the sidewalk. Okay, let's wait until our terrain is gonna be generated once more. Perfect. And if everything is working, if you only have the first trigger, it's gonna do this. And now if you're gonna have the second trigger, it's gonna be able to remove the sidewalk, okay? Perfect. Now, now, also for the road, it is gonna be the same. Just remember to change the information. You create a trigger, rename it road add, okay? And in road add, of course, you change the information, you change the item, change the price. You be sure it's connected to the item you want to, in this case, the same road. Of course, you change here the money, right? Of course, you're gonna change the key here, the sound, the effect, the text, and the road. And if you want to do it again once more, you can also create one called road remove, and it's gonna have the same information of your sidewalk remove, but this time you're gonna remove just the road, okay? And that's it. As you see, it's really simple, okay? As you see, the way you make it is gonna be really, 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 really simple, guys. So cool. Right now we already learned how to do a just normal switch tool, how to create a tool which is gonna destroy things, and how to do a sidewalk or a tool that is gonna place the blocks or replace the blocks only if those blocks are connected to something, okay, to a specific block. So now we're gonna create the next part, and is we gonna learn how to create our buildings, okay? I'm gonna be really quick with this one because I want you to do it faster. So my best recommendation is first have your buildings created in another map. Of course, I'm not gonna teach you how to create the map because you already know how to do that. And in here, the first thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna place the next items in your inventory, okay? So you're gonna go here and you're gonna place this specific item in your inventory. Then you're gonna go to tools, and in tools you're gonna select the next items. So if you're in English, you can put paint here, and you're gonna have different tools. You're gonna put eggs also, and you're gonna have more tools, that is the small egg, okay? Remember, this is the one, and the big egg, okay? So now that you have those two things, what you're gonna do is you're gonna place those in the floor. You're gonna place it in anywhere. And remember, guys, these tools allow you to create your own miniatures models in the game, okay? So everything you're gonna see in the green area is gonna be the small where you can build and create your own different buildings for the game, okay? My best recommendation is start from your home. As you see, I already make it here. This is not a construction for tutorial, but remember, the items you're gonna use are gonna be in blocks. You're gonna have to select this one, the one is named as a cement. You cannot find it, I'm not sure. It's around this area. Is this one, the cement block, okay? So how it's gonna work? You're gonna see that basically if you place this block in your hands, you're gonna have a new option, that is this one. If you click on here, you can choose the color you want to use for this cement block, and you will be able to build something, okay? Why using cement block or glass blocks? Because also you will be able to use this tool and this tool to be able to paint it, okay? As an example, I'm gonna use the tool for painting. I'm gonna choose a color, and if I hit, I will be able to change the color. Same happens for the small egg and for the big egg, okay? If I choose egg, I can choose a color, and I'm gonna be able to paint this really quick, okay? So you can build different structures. As you see, I built my home here, the office here, the police station here, and also I take the time to build the different scenarios, the different buildings for the game, okay? But what is gonna be the most important thing is you can build this as free as you want. What you're gonna do after building this is you're gonna go to the small block here, You're gonna click on it, and here you will be able to place the name of the tool. Okay, in this as an example, house example. And if you click on make it, you will be able to get this on your hand. So just put it into your hand, okay, and then create a small scenario for checking how it's gonna look, and just place it into the floor. As you see, we have the house we just created here into our inventory. Okay, so what you're gonna do next is just gonna go to this tool and you click on manage. Okay, you're gonna click on manage, and here is gonna allow you to select which a small tool you're gonna select. In this case, I'm gonna select the house I created, and I'm gonna click on move, and you're gonna place it into your normal gallery. Okay, and that will allow you to export that small miniature to another map. And that's when you go to the normal map, the map you are creating, your city simulator. You're gonna access to your city simulator. You're gonna go to the same tool, but instead of this one, you're gonna go to main library. You're gonna click on the folder where you have the miniature you just created, and you're gonna click on that one, and you're gonna select move, and you're gonna select the default folder of your map. And when you do that, you will be able to have that specific miniature in your map. To be able to complete the process, just leave your map and access your map again. Okay, so remember, that's how you create your different maps, your different buildings, but this is only the model. Now we need to create two different things. We need to create first the item, but I mean the block. Okay, so you're gonna go to plugin editor, and you're gonna add a new block. You're gonna create it from zero. For this, just click on new, create. On here, you need to select an existing one. You're gonna select whatever you have, or as an example, a really existing template. The one I'm using is the rock. You're gonna confirm, and when you're gonna confirm, of course, you're gonna change the information for the information you have in game. Okay, so very important, guys. If on here, I'm gonna show you an extra example tomorrow about how to make that every time you place a block on the terrain, you're gonna have some information in the screen. Okay, so that is why you were looking something like this. What I'm doing here is showing to